You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show of the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. We don't have any new callers today, but we got Niko. What's going on, Niko?
Ryan, how the heck are you?
Good.
Niko, I know. Beautiful day here today, folks. Tuesday, sunny southern Idaho. We get to go up to Sandpoint this week to visit the grandbabies. We got four of them up there. 3 little girls and 1 little boy who is just probably, he is just surrounded by girl stuff. But I tell you what, he's a great kid. Anyways, calling about, what am I calling about?
I don't know, man. I never know.
That's my thing not working. There it is. Tell you, it's funny because I don't know who Micah Parsons' brother is. I guess he made a tweet that made everyone have to analyze it and think in retrospectively what he could have meant. This is the over-analyzing stuff in football that just drives me insane. In all reality, I don't give a crap what Micah Parsons' brother says. It doesn't mean anything. He's just the brother of Micah Parsons, right? Because now everybody's like, oh, he's not getting back to week 9 or 8 or 10 or 12 or whatever. Like, calm down, people. He's only saying what he's told to say. You know, obviously when your brother is of Micah Parsons, value, and you're active on social media, they're going to tell you, hey, don't say this, don't say this, say this. So he's only saying what Micah said, and literally is what it is. I think he'll be back by Chicago, and everybody's freaking out about it. But if you look at the timeline, that's right after 9 months. And obviously, if he gets put on the pup, he can start practicing after week 2. Did we forget how he looked last year? Remember last year? A week before the first game, I think right when we signed him, that fool was just laying on a table like in a preseason game. I don't even know if he practiced until week 1. Maybe he had like a lower back issue thing. And everyone's like, oh, he's not going to be good for weeks. He's going to have to do limited snaps. That fool, pretty sure he outsnapped Gary week 1. So I am fairly confident that he will probably start the season on the pup. Start practicing after week 2, or 3. Get a little, when you do something like that on your knee, by the time September rolls around, his knee will be to the point where it's as strong as it was before, probably stronger. It's all mental.
Part 2.
It's just all mental, setting your foot, spinning, cutting, all that stuff. So he's gonna be fine. He'll come back. He'll get 2 sacks on Caleb's fingernails in week 5, and we'll forget that we overanalyzed the crap out of his brother's tweet 3 months earlier. It's just so insane. But anyways, that's my input. That's my thing. And obviously there's a chance that it could take longer. We thought bacteria was coming back sooner. We were all like, oh, he'll start. He hurt himself a year ago, and he still didn't play the next year. And maybe next week. He just kept swelling up. And I know the same thing happened to Jair. Although after listening to Jair's, what he said, it's almost like he was in denial of his own physical inabilities. Like he just didn't take it very smart, oh, don't pull out in front of me, car. I will hit you. But, yes, there's a chance he could get some swelling and maybe not start soon. Obviously, there's always a case with an injury, but that's not, I think it's more common that doesn't happen, Bach was also a big dude. Those guys are always harder on the joints. Jair clearly, I think, was handling his rehab the smartest way. But anyways, and once again, I just know that I know that Love is just going to be like, who do I want to throw a touchdown to right now? Is it Kraft? Is it Reed? Is it Watson? Who wants to be lucky? You know, if I was a receiver on the Packers, I'd be like, hey, what up, Jordan? Hey, buddy. Hey, I noticed your car had a spot on it. So I took it down, I washed it, waxed it, vacuumed it. Yeah, filled up with gas. Yeah, man. Got the oil change. Yeah, but hey, anything for you, buddy? I would want to do everything I could to that man because he's going to have so many choices to be dumping balls to.
Yep.
That I would want him, even if it's on a subconscious or unconscious level, to try to throw it to me first. Because he feels indebted to me because I washed and waxed his car, right? So, anyways, that's all I got to say. Go, Pack, go!
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to swing too heavily in one direction or the other. The reality is, you know, we've been, I brought up what I brought up because it's been very heavily in the camp of he'll be back week 5. And I don't want to lock down week 5 as though that's any kind of a guarantee because it's not. And we need to be prepared for the possibility that it could be maybe week 8-ish or later or who knows. But similarly, not wanting to go too far in any other direction, let's just not assume anything. And that's kind of where the larger point came in, which is we have to get off this Micah Parsons thing for a little bit. Until he comes back, we have to get to the point where this is still a good football team without him. And not just the fan base, but the team itself. Because if they don't embody that, we're screwed. They have to be like, dude, Micah is going to take us to another level, but without him, we're still pretty freaking unstoppable. And they need to be unstoppable. And they need to demonstrate that. They need to go into week 5 with or without Micah Parsons, 4-0 as the scariest team in the NFC North. That's the goal. Garrett from Southern Illinois.
Hey, Ryan. This is Garrett from Southern Illinois.
Yo.
Not to be confused with Garrett from L.A.
Okay.
Because I know that can be a little bit confusing. But anyways, just calling to give a little backstory to my last call that I made. It was basically you served up a bunch of ingredients when you did a rant about Caleb and Madden and also about rap and your criticism of rap. Mm-hmm. And I guess the 110-degree heat index here got to me a little bit, and I just made this call in that was just a lot of sporadic gibberish that basically was kind of mimicking your attempt at rap. So I appreciate that you did a song about it. That was pretty hilarious. So it will forever be immortalized on digital airwaves.
Yep.
So I appreciate that, Ryan. So got to do a second version of it where Micah Parsons gets the sack and all we see is Caleb's butt crack.
Well, I'm just happy. First of all, as I had talked to you already, I liked that song a lot more than I was expecting to. I had no idea what was going to come of that thing that you did and all the noises you made. But I listened to it and I was like, that's actually pretty good. And then the more I listened to it, the more I liked it. So I'm also just very happy that in our very large catalog of songs at this point, we now have a song that is called, Madden Butt Crack or something. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, and you've helped contribute to that. I should have immortalized you in some way, and maybe I'll do that because I can put context with these different songs. So if I remember, I'll go back in, and in the context, I add context to try to help Brick Lombardi as he goes through and does whatever. It's still in setup mode. Nothing's really working as I want it to right now because I'm, whatever. But I should do that so that Brick knows anytime we go back and play that song that this came from Garrett from Southern Illinois.
Hey, yo, Ryan. Hey, this is your uncle. Beat us, or butthead, from that shirt. And you said butt crack. He's a butt crack of a quarterback. Hey, tee for my bunghole. Tee for my bunghole.
I'm not making that a song. I'm not doing that, but I appreciate the attempt at a Beavis reference. By the way, one of my freaking favorite things ever when I was younger was Beavis and Butthead. Just such a good show. There's I don't know if people still have this today because, obviously you just pull stuff up on YouTube or whatever. It's not a big deal. But back in the day when that song came on, like The Simpsons, it was like a big deal. It was like, it's like, yes. But Beavis and Butthead, man, that down, it's just like, yes, it's Beavis and Butthead time. Oh, it was such a good show. Incredible show. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with Batman.
Heck, Daddy.
Yo.
What up, Batman? You struck a nerve with the motivational stuff for team versus player, and I think that is really hard at the NFL level when you have, and it's not even egos, but millionaires or whatever. But you struck a nerve just because I did play professional rugby, and it was, I think it was dictated more by the fact that you couldn't choose a number. The position chose your number. So in rugby, for example, if you play 15, you were a fullback, and you had to earn that jersey. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm on the team, I pick my number or anything like that. So you had to take the jersey away from somebody else, and you had to earn the jersey, and not get it taken away. Beyond that, I think just the legacy of the people that played before you with that number carries a lot of weight. I know that the NFL has the tradition of retiring numbers for players and that type of stuff when it's been honored to a certain level. But it is a different mentality. And I think that was going back to last season, when they went on that losing streak and how much we were questioning motivation. I think the illegal hit on Jordan pissed me off, not just because of the Bears side of what happened in the game and the hit, but more the fact that nobody stood up for their player. Nobody went over there and punched somebody in the mouth or whatever. But stood up for him. And that grit, that component of pride for your teammate playing for them seemed to be lacking. And I'm not saying it did. It's just because we can't say that for a fact. These guys play hard and they put their life on the line every day, but that motivational component is something that is lacking on this team in the sense of we haven't seen it. And we're talking about guys that they brought in that are road graders and have an attitude to them. I think that's really important to kind of change that culture part of the team, because as an organization, I think they have a good culture. But that's the difference between every team goes through this whole phase of players coach versus the hard ass that comes in and lets the hammer down to let these guys know that neither of those things motivate. A player has to be motivated themselves, but I think the messaging behind why they're motivated is critical. That was a really good point, man. Just wanted to point that out to you. But yeah, it's different, but rugby is a different sport, man. Because you carry a number. Just imagine if every team had a number assigned to a specific position and you had to earn, for example, if forever and ever it was 15 for the Packers is the quarterback, you had to earn the Bart Starr. You had to.
Yeah. Bruce, part 2.
Monster got me. So caller roulette is going to be Garrett. Anyway, peace out, man.
Well, yeah, I've had a couple people reach out about that whole that book, and I think it is, because again, I'm not not in that field, and a lot of people have done a lot of work to kind of look into that, and it is a different side of this football thing as far as there's the X's and O's and all different kinds of things it goes into, very, very in depth. And this is kind of a lesser touched on topic, so I wanted to go out and find people that have talked about this, that understand these things, especially in sports, especially this specific situation and issue. And it just kind of felt like that was a pretty good direction to go. Again, how does that translate to the NFL? I don't know. Can they implement that? Will that make sense? Does that work? I don't know. But there needs to be in my opinion, there needs to be a team identity that is bigger than themselves, that is representing the Green Bay Packers, representing a legacy, as seeing themselves as stewards of that legacy. Tucker Kraft just said he anticipates playing week 1 without a pitch count. Well, good, because we were all expecting that. So, good answer.
Hey, Ryan, Pierce Cheese Benny. Listen to your podcast about Packers need a new identity, and I couldn't agree more. And I love that you compared the man, I'm forgetting their team, man. I don't want to get it wrong. Where like it was all about honor and like it's not about you and stuff like that. And so, you know, if I were somebody within the organization, this is what I would say. I'll get everybody together. I would say, listen, man, this is the Green Bay Packers. We're not some damn freaking little mess around team. 100 years of it, over 100 years of history. Do you think Curly Lambeau created this team so we could just be here? So we could just make some money? No! He created this team because we wanted greatness. And it's always been about greatness. It's always been about being the utmost, greatest people and being the greatest you can be. We're here for each other. There's fans who own the team. They paid money to do it. To have that right. You owe it to them. You owe it to them, and you owe it to yourselves. This season, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Micah's going to miss. We're not the Green Bay Micahs. We're the Green Bay Packers. So who's going to step up? Who's going to step up while players are hurt? Who's going to be the next Micah? Who's going to catch the freaking ball, get the touchdowns? What are we going to do, man? Are we going to cower in the face of adversity? Are we just going to give up? Or are we going to put it all on the line for the people who gave it all to us? What are we going to do? Because we're not going to sit here and make it about us. It's about the green and gold. It's about the history of Lambeau. You see those freaking banners right there? We haven't won a trophy since 2010. But it's not about that. We got to start winning week by week. Every freaking week is the Super Bowl. Treat it like it. We're tired of this crap. We want more championships, and it starts with practice. Practice like it's the championship. We're going to go out there and whoop some ass. Doesn't matter who we play. The way we respect our opponents is by beating the living crap out of them. Let's get it. Go, Pack, go.
Hey, what's going on, Ryan? Chris from Alabama.
What's up, dude?
And I'm calling in today. I'm going to try to keep it light. I don't know. You know how I get sometimes. But I'm going to try to keep this light. I'm calling in today about our good friend, that name that I will not say as long as he's on this team, but his number is 25. I'm calling in about number 25. Okay. Number 25, apparently, the word on the block is that number 25 wants some more bread. Mm-hmm. He wants some more money. And he will potentially hold out to get this money. Oh, it's funny to me, man. So you mean to tell me? Hey, you mean to tell me that you are willing to hold out a training camp for some more money? You want Jamel Dean money. Jamel Dean is better than you. You want Jamel Dean. You want $12 million per. I wouldn't give you a double extra value meal, man. Get up out of here, man. $12 million. Ain't no way I'm giving, I almost said his name. Ain't no way I'm giving number 25 So $12 million, no year. Make $6 million. Now you better go and take that little $6 million that you do this year, go and play. And now if you play well, then we can come back out and talk about something at the end of the season. Or in the middle of the season, however it is y'all want to do it. I'm not giving you $12 million, but this is my thing. Why in the damn hell would you go out of training camp and you ain't even guaranteed a starting position? You're not guaranteed a starting position, sir. Newsflash, breaking news. Number 25, you're not like that. Have you overperformed as an undrafted free agent and becoming a starting corner in the NFL that is competent enough to start and have a decent season? Absolutely. Are you a bona fide cornerback one? Everybody going game plan for you, talk about you in a light as they talk about top corners in the league? Absolutely not. No. And you got a bad attitude. And you all by yourself. And you're going to want to make tackles in the doggone biggest game of the year in the
Got a little cut off. There's a bunch more, Chris, from Alabama. Let me just jump in here. So I kind of alluded to this on tomorrow's podcast without delving in, just mentioning there's kind of a thing going on with Keisean. But I haven't fully delved into that because we're kind of just going through what's happening in training camp right now. But tomorrow's going to be the podcast from today, and then the next day will be the podcast covering tomorrow's training camp. The day after that is what I'm saying, whatever freaking day that happens to land on, is kind of when we're going to start delving into the 53 type of stuff. And cornerback does have some questions, and that certainly is one of them. And I'll just say this real quick. I see this as kind of an Elton Jenkins move. This is sort of a, look, I'm getting old. I got injury problems, not literally one-to-one, but Elton Jenkins was in I'm getting old, injury issues, all this stuff. You keep kicking me inside. I see the writing on the wall. I need to grab as much money out of here as I possibly can. Keisean Nixon's in a situation where Bullard is ascending. Valentine's a good player. My contention is he's ahead of Valentine. However, even still, Valentine is a young guy that was drafted, and now you just went out and got Cisse. Nixon was brought in for a coach that is no longer here, a defensive coordinator that is no longer here. Like this is all brand new. He's getting old. His value is diminishing. This is a money grab. This is I see the writing on the wall. I'm not going to be here much longer, but today is the most amount of value I'm probably going to have in the rest of my NFL career. I need to capitalize now, because if I wait until next year, the year after, whatever, for some kind of a contract, I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know who's going to value me this high. I have no idea. But that's kind of my view, having not super delved into it. I just heard little rumors. I heard from this, that, or the other. In fact, I didn't even necessarily hear the specifics that you seem to have heard, so I'm going to have to do some digging. If you see something, Chris, send it to me. I'm sure I'll find it when I start digging, but the point is, that's kind of what makes sense to me. The writing is on the wall, and you need to apply the pressure now while the pressure is, while the leverage is in your court. Chris from Alabama, part 2.
I'm back. I'm not giving you a bag of Doritos or a cold Coca-Cola Zero and a Snicker bar. I ain't giving you that. I ain't giving you nothing. Check this out. So you won't. Let's just say it was the other guy. Now I cannot remember his name. Played for the Jaguars. It was 2 contracts. He said he wanted to be in the ballpark. It's between $10 and $12 million. Man, if you don't go have several seats, man, and sit down. I'm trying not to cuss. If you want to go sit yourself down somewhere, go ahead and suit up a training camp and go ahead and try to first and foremost, when you are starting time, because your time ain't safe down, and again, the came in the word, it's open competition. Nobody jobs say we compete for jobs around here. So you're gonna sit out of camp. You're gonna be sitting out of camp, and then you're gonna be sitting on your couch looking stupid. So you ain't gonna have no starting job. And 9 times out of 10, the Packers probably gonna save that little hot $5 million and go out and get Trayvon Diggs. How you love that? This is my proposal. Let number 25 take his selfish BSing. I'm trying not to cuss so bad.
Now, I'll just real quick jump into it. It adds to it from our standpoint the fact that it seems like he's been this way the entire time he's been here. Like you said, with the selfishness. If this was a guy that had just been grinding and had been earning it and all that stuff, and he's done some good stuff, but he's been the I want to be the number one. I want this. I don't want to do that anymore. I should be this and that and the other. And then you deliberately go out and miss tackles and do all that kind of crap. And then the first time you show your face up again, remember last year was the first time he showed his face up for the year was I want X, Y, and Z. Then you don't perform. Then the first time you come back, it's I want X, Y, and Z. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but don't expect to be a fan favorite because you're going to rub everybody the wrong way with this crap.
Let him take himself on somewhere and let him figure that out. Get him. I don't get that Trayvon Diggs. I don't bring him in the camp so we can get him offense, defense, and go ahead and plug and play, please. Bro, you not like that dude. You ain't never been like that dude. You been alright. You been above average. I give you that. You are average running back. Congratulations for being undrafted, coming in, and potentially working. I give you that. Kudos to you, sir. But if you thinking you trying to get big dog money around, I ain't even gonna say big dog money. If you trying to get money as a good quarterback, you ain't a good quarterback. You above average. You ain't good. Man, come on, get up out of here with that, man. That'll be the dumbest thing he ever did if he was to sit out of camp. Talking about he wants some doggone more money. What kind of silly mess is this? Oh man, I started laughing, so I know you lying. I know this thing. I know this is some stuff I done ran across on Twitter or X or whatever they call the thing these days. I know this something I just ran across. It can't be real.
Part 3.
All right, I'm back. I'm gonna try to wrap it up and listen. When I heard the podcast, I forgot that. I think they were talking to Bill to somebody. I was saying, well, on the record, I didn't say anything about it. And he asked him if it was off the record, and he was like, well,
yeah, I
on
did
the
hear
record,
that.
he didn't say nothing about it. I'm like, okay, he ain't told him, man. He want to hold out. Then I watched Clayton, and then they trying to break him down. I'm like, so this must be some real stuff going on around here. Man, that would be the dumbest thing. Oh, and Garrett Parsons came out with the tweet and said the same thing. And like, as soon as I said it, they showed the tweet of him coming out like, why would you hold out in a year that your spot ain't even guaranteed? You gonna let somebody take your spot? Absolutely. That's exactly what gonna happen. You gonna hold out. Your dumb ass gonna hold out. Somebody gonna take your spot, and they probably gonna end up letting you. If not trading you, I vote. I don't know how y'all feel about number 25. I might not have no beef with him. I already know where I stand with that dude. If it would live up to me, he would have been cut. He been gone. He been gone after the doggone Bears game. If it would live up to me, that might not have been the best decision at the time. But hey, we got us a second round pick. We can get him some extra reps. Get him out the way. We got a guy free agent, and that was one of the top rated zone corners in the NFL last year. And you still got a guy that you had on the roster last year that only let play one game that looked pretty decent, although it was against the Minnesota Vikings. But you can bring him back. He'll be cheaper. I'm pretty sure he'll take at this point $5-6 million than what Keisean is making, and he's a better cornerback. So hold out, sir, if you want to. I hope you do, so they can go ahead and cut you, and they can bring in somebody else that ain't about they self and think they better or bigger what they are. And that's all I got to say about that. That is hilarious to me, and I hope he do it with his stupid ass. Sorry, I tried. Go Paco, and I'll talk to y'all later.
Yeah, and again, I think it does. Well, there is one more thing, but I'll interject here. I think it does make sense, but for the Packers standpoint, I mean, it makes sense for the exact reason why the Packers would want to push back. It makes sense because this is kind of one of those things where the Packers are gonna, we'll just ignore it. We'll just keep on going. No big deal. Alexa, stop. Sorry about that. And then obviously, ideally, we're gonna go get Cisse. We're gonna try to get younger, and then we just move on from Keisean. It's a good agent's job to make sure it's not that easy. It's not that you can't just walk away and be like, goodbye. We want to restructure a contract now to make sure that there's some pain. There should be pain, otherwise I'm failing to do my job. And I think that's what the agent is going to do right now. I can't let it just be that easy for you to just walk away from us. So the question then becomes, what do the Packers want to do? Because again, from their standpoint, I think, as a person, and I've been saying this since day one, I'm a Valentine guy, not a Keisean guy, and that's not just about his attitude. I think that's about the play too. I think the team tends to disagree though, and I would put him in the camp of we need him. If for no other reason than depth. I mean, it's pretty bleak. I mean, we do have St. Juice, I suppose, that we could use as leverage. We do have Domani Jackson. So, I mean, we could look at it and say, look, we got our starters, which would be Cisse and Valentine and Bullard. And then, we've got more than enough, and we don't really need you. If you want to go that route, we'll be okay. I just don't know if the Packers are going to do that, or if they're going to cave and give him just a little something, whatever that ends up being. They'll give him kind of the number that he wants, but it's going to be a lot of fluff, a lot of nonsense. And at the end of the day, it's just going to mean that he's going to get a paycheck. It's not going to hurt us that much, but there's going to be some dead money whenever we do end up moving on, if we do end up moving on, because we still have to find enough guys to end up feeling confident enough to replace him. So I don't really know. Again, all I heard was more or less what it sounds like you heard on, it was Wilde and Tausch, where they had talked about, on the record, off the record, kind of a weird thing. Didn't really say much, but, everything was just kind of, I can't really say what was said, but something was said kind of a thing. But again, I'll do some sleuthing and try to see if I can find out what exactly the heck everybody's talking about. All right, let's do the final Chris from Alabama, and then we just have one caller left. So as always, get your calls in. You guys are doing a great job with that. By the way, I was starting off today going, I don't think there's enough calls. I think there was, 6 or 7, and I was like, I'll just wait. And then, boom, here comes a bunch of calls. And it ended up being like 16 calls. I'm like, all right, I guess we're ready to rock and roll. Maybe it wasn't quite that much. Either way, we're down to 1. So if you got more, get them in.
One more thing.
All right.
I promise this is my last call, I think. If you decide to pull old hole, I said go sit down on the couch. You know what I want to do? You know what I really want to do? I want him to come to camp and hold in. Do the old hold in thing where you come in the camp, you be over there on the side riding on the what's the thing called? The bicycle. Still, mine going blank. I forgot what it really called. Over there, ride on there, sit around on the sideline, and watch one of these guys take your job. Mm-hmm. Please do that. It's been too much with this guy. This guy is selfish, bro. He is not about the team. He's selfish. He's too doggone selfish. That goes back to when I had said the thing I said about keeping Nate Howes over this guy.
Right.
Nate Howes was terrible last year. But he had the humility to say, look, man, I played bad, guys. I played bad, let the team down, And if I get another chance, I'm going to prove to y'all that I can be a better player. Versus, well, I guess I hit all my goals this year. I don't want to, I'm not returning no kicks. I want to be CB1. And then talking all this trash about Chicago, and then you go out there and get cooked.
Yep.
Man, get him on my team, man. At this point, if this man, number 25, falls out of training camp, get him the hell off this team. Say you get your $5 million, say you $5 million against the cap, shoot that $5 million to another cornerback, a la Trayvon did, and keep it moving, man. So this man, basically, it's gonna be a problem in the locker room if he ain't already a problem. So he's probably been a problem, and all the little quote unquote grumbles and all that was going on in the locker room, he probably was part of it. Man, get this selfish ass dude out the locker room, man. That man's selfish, man. And he ain't even like that, though. Yep. He ain't like that. That's it. I'm gone. Go, Pay, go. I'll talk to y'all later.
Well, yeah, and it is kind of a put up or shut up for the team. I mean, you talk a big game about culture and about right attitude and all that kind of stuff. What does it mean if you talk a big talk about you need to have the right attitude if you want to be a part of this team? Keisean comes in, he runs his mouth, he says, I want. He takes. He doesn't give back. He's not a team guy. And then he says, I'm not playing unless you give me more money. And you just roll over and give him money? I mean, what are you saying to the rest of the team? What does that say to the guys who are actually doing what you say and putting forth the right attitude? You're what, a sucker? You're stupid. You buy into that nonsense, dude? I don't buy into that crap. I don't do what they say. I do what I want around here. And I guess that's good enough. It's more of a request. Could you please be so kind as to be a team player? And if not, you don't have to. That's fine. You can be a demanding jagoff and just take, and that's also fine. But, it's just, if you wouldn't mind, kind of a thing. It really, I know it's a business thing. I get it, and I understand that this is part of business, but I also think it's not just about one guy. You got a lot of guys watching you. And, again, it's put up or shut up time for the team, and I think you got to make some kind of a statement here that we're not going to put up with this. You either want to be here or you don't. And, like I said, as far as playing for something bigger than yourself, playing for the team, this guy's not a team player. He's a Keisean guy. He's always been a Keisean guy. He cares about Keisean. All right, cool. And I get that that's how some people are, but that's not how we do things here. You don't get to be a special organization by being the same as everybody else. So get to step into one of those other teams that has all kinds of diva superstars, and they don't seem to have a problem with it, but we don't do that here. It's the way it goes. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. We got that big storm that hit Green Bay. Apparently there was another one behind it that's hitting us, and the lights are already flickering, so I better shut this down before I lose everything. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.